Welcome back to the PMP Certification Prep Training course, Project Communications Management Knowledge Area. Effective communications management aligns stakeholder interests and secures outcome agreements through strategic, transparent engagement. Effective communication is essential for risk management and organizational success. It involves the clear exchange of information, ensuring that all stakeholders understand risks, expectations, and responsibilities. Open communication enables early identification of potential issues and fosters collaboration among team members. Transparency, feedback mechanisms, and tailored messaging for different audiences are critical in maintaining trust and aligning everyone toward common goals. To achieve strong communication, it is important to use multiple channels, such as emails, meetings, and reports, to reinforce key messages. Listening actively, verifying understanding, and encouraging questions contribute to a healthy communication culture. Documentation of communications also ensures there is a clear record for accountability and reference. By prioritizing communication, organizations can navigate risks more effectively and foster a proactive, informed environment. Communication models illustrate how information flows between a sender and a receiver. The process begins when the sender encodes a message and transmits it through a medium. As the message travels, it may encounter noise, any interference that can distort or disrupt the communication. Once the message reaches the receiver, it is decoded to extract the intended meaning. Effective communication requires careful encoding and decoding to minimize misunderstandings. In addition to sending messages, communication models emphasize feedback, where the receiver responds, confirming whether the message was understood as intended. Feedback also travels through the medium and is similarly susceptible to noise. By acknowledging the message and providing a response, communication becomes a dynamic, two-way process rather than a simple transmission. Understanding these elements, encoding, decoding, medium, noise, and feedback, helps improve clarity, reduce errors, and foster stronger interactions. Communication can be categorized based on its direction and formality into internal and external types. Internal communication happens within an organization among employees, while external communication occurs between the organization and outside parties like clients, vendors, or the public. Both types can involve formal or informal communication methods depending on the audience and the purpose. The forms of communication are further divided into 4 types: formal written, formal verbal, informal written, and informal verbal. Each serves different needs. Formal communication is typically structured and official, while informal communication is more casual and spontaneous, helping to build relationships and share quick updates. Communication methods refer to how information is delivered and received among individuals or groups. They can be categorized mainly into push and pull communication. In push communication, the sender actively delivers the information to the receiver, often without waiting for immediate feedback. Examples include emails, memos, and press releases. In pull communication, information is made available for the receiver to access at their convenience, such as through websites, knowledge bases, or notice boards. Selecting the right method is crucial depending on the urgency, audience, and nature of the message. Additionally, communication can be either verbal or nonverbal. Verbal communication uses spoken or written words to convey messages consciously and clearly, relying heavily on language and context. Nonverbal communication, however, relies on body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, and gestures, often occurring unconsciously. Both forms play vital roles in ensuring complete understanding, with nonverbal cues often reinforcing or contradicting verbal messages. Being mindful of both methods enhances overall communication effectiveness. Effective communication in projects relies on understanding various factors such as the organization's structure, stakeholder preferences, culture, and demographics. Each of these elements can significantly influence how messages are sent, received, and interpreted. Organizational structure defines the flow of information, while stakeholder preferences determine how individuals want to receive communication. Cultural and demographic considerations ensure that communication styles and mediums are appropriate and inclusive, fostering better understanding and engagement. Communication requirements analysis involves identifying the specific needs for communication within the project. This analysis includes determining who needs what information, when they need it, and how it should be delivered. Key factors include the number of stakeholders, the complexity of the project, and the information needs and distribution methods. By thoroughly analyzing these aspects, project managers can develop effective communication strategies that ensure clarity, minimize misunderstandings, and contribute to overall project success. Communication models describe how information flows between a sender and a receiver. The process typically starts with the sender creating a message and encoding it, then transmitting it through a communication channel. The receiver then decodes the message and provides feedback. The models also highlight possible noise, which can distort the message at any point in the process, leading to miscommunication. Effective communication depends on careful message crafting, appropriate medium selection, and active feedback loops to ensure understanding. Different communication models such as Shannon-Weaver, interactive, and transactional show varying levels of complexity. The Shannon-Weaver model focuses on the technical transmission of information, while interactive and transactional models include feedback and emphasize that communication is a two-way, dynamic process. Recognizing these models helps improve how messages are designed, delivered, and understood, especially in projects and teamwork environments. Effective communication is critical to project success, and managing it involves 3 key steps: plan, manage, and monitor. During the planning phase, project managers determine who needs information, what details must be shared, when communication should occur, and the appropriate method for delivering it. This results in a communications management plan that serves as a roadmap for ensuring everyone receives the right messages throughout the project lifecycle. Clear planning helps prevent misunderstandings and aligns all stakeholders with the project's goals and timelines. In the managed communications phase, information is actively distributed according to the plan, using the selected communication channels. This step focuses on ensuring that key messages reach the right audiences at the right time. Meanwhile, the control communications phase monitors and evaluates the effectiveness of communication activities, allowing for adjustments based on feedback, project changes, or emerging issues. Together, these steps create a dynamic communication process that supports collaboration, transparency, and project success. Project communications management is structured around 3 major processes: plan communications management, manage communications, and monitor communications. In the planning phase, project managers identify communication needs based on project documents, environmental factors, and organizational assets. Using tools like expert judgment, communication technology, and team collaboration methods, they create a communications management plan to guide how information will be shared throughout the project. This step ensures that communication expectations are clearly aligned with project objectives and stakeholder requirements. Once communication planning is complete, the focus shifts to execution and oversight. Managed communications involves the active distribution of information using communication technologies, interpersonal skills, and management information systems. Meanwhile, monitor communications ensures that the communication process remains effective by analyzing performance data, incorporating feedback, and adjusting strategies as needed. Tools such as expert judgment, data representation, and meetings help teams verify that stakeholders are receiving the information they need. Together, these integrated processes help maintain transparency, resolve issues early, and drive overall project success. An essential part of project communications management is clearly identifying stakeholders and defining how, when, and by whom they will be communicated with. The stakeholder communication plan organizes this information in a structured way, ensuring that every stakeholder's expectations are addressed. It outlines the communication method, the frequency of communication, who is responsible for delivering the information, and any additional notes important for tailoring messages to specific audiences. By using a communication plan table, project managers can systematically manage information flow, preventing confusion or miscommunication. This proactive approach helps maintain stakeholder engagement, supports faster decision-making, and builds trust throughout the project lifecycle. Regularly updating the communication plan ensures it remains aligned with evolving project conditions and stakeholder needs, reinforcing the project's overall success. Planning communications management is a critical process that determines how project information will be collected, created, distributed, stored, and ultimately disposed of. It uses inputs like the project charter, project management plan, and project documents, including requirements documentation and the stakeholder register. Tools and techniques such as expert judgment, communication requirements analysis, and communication models help in designing the most effective strategy for keeping stakeholders informed and engaged throughout the project. The outputs of this process include a comprehensive communications management plan that outlines the communication approach tailored to stakeholder needs. Additionally, updates to the project management plan and documents like the stakeholder register and project schedule may occur. By planning communications thoughtfully, project teams can ensure information flows smoothly, reducing misunderstandings and helping to build trust and alignment across all levels of the project. Managing communications is a crucial process that ensures timely and appropriate collection, creation, distribution, storage, retrieval, management, monitoring, and ultimate disposition of project information. The process relies on key inputs such as the project management plan, various project documents, and work performance reports. Utilizing an array of tools and techniques, including communication technology, interpersonal skills, and project reporting systems, project managers are able to deliver relevant information effectively to stakeholders and team members. The outputs of managing communications ensure that project communications are properly documented and updated, contributing to project transparency and stakeholder satisfaction. These outputs include updates to the communications management plan, stakeholder engagement plans, and critical project documents such as the issue log and risk register. A strong communications management approach not only keeps stakeholders informed but also strengthens project governance, collaboration, and trust throughout the project lifecycle. Monitoring communications involves ensuring that the information needs of project stakeholders are met throughout the project lifecycle. This process relies on key inputs such as the project management plan, project documents like the issue log and lessons learned register, and work performance data. Tools and techniques like expert judgment, data analysis, and interpersonal skills such as observation and conversation are essential for evaluating how communications are performing and whether adjustments are needed. The outputs of monitoring communications include work performance information, change requests, and updates to the communications management plan and stakeholder engagement plan. Regularly monitoring communications helps identify gaps or misunderstandings early, allowing corrective actions to be taken promptly. Effective communication monitoring not only improves project performance but also builds stronger relationships with stakeholders through increased transparency and responsiveness. Effective communication planning is essential for project success. It begins by gathering and distributing the contact information of all involved parties and identifying the specific communication needs of stakeholders. Project team members typically require detailed updates frequently, while senior management prefers summarized information less often. It's important to analyze the value of each communication to the project's progress. Carefully evaluate constraints and assumptions that could impact communication efforts and select the most appropriate communication technologies to ensure timely and efficient information sharing. Once the communication requirements are clear, a comprehensive communications management plan should be developed, ensuring it addresses all key elements such as stakeholder roles, information formats, timing, and delivery methods. This plan must be integrated into the overall project plan and shared with all stakeholders to establish clear expectations. Proper communication planning not only ensures that the right information reaches the right people at the right time, but also strengthens stakeholder engagement and project alignment throughout the project lifecycle. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to excellence and your dedication to mastering the profession. We wish you resounding success on your path to certification.